This is what you need to be paying attention to with regards to your student loans over the next few months. Hello and welcome to Practical Personal Finance, where you get the information you need to understand and succeed with money. I'm Andrew Shear, and if you've got federal student loans, you've been on quite a roller coaster ride this past year. Today, I'm going to share with you two of the most recent developments, how your federal student loan debt could be affected, and what you need to keep an eye on going forward. Remember to click that like button, and if you want to stay up to date with whatever is happening in the world of student loans, click that red subscribe button. You're about to learn something new about money. First up is the most recent extension of the pause on federal student loans. Last March, with the CARES Act, the federal government put a pause on all federally owned student loans. They set the interest rate on all federal student loans to 0%, and they made the minimum monthly payments on all federal student loans $0 per month until the end of September. Then, in August, President Trump issued an executive order to extend this critical relief until the end of December. And now, with federal student loans on the verge of resuming in just a few weeks, Betsy DeVos has again extended the pause on all federal student loans, kicking the can just a little bit further down the road until the end of January. This means that if you have federal student loans that are currently having a 0% interest rate and a minimum monthly payment of $0, Christmas has come early. You do not need to make any payments or worry about any interest piling up until January 31st. This one-month extension from the Department of Education might seem like small potatoes, but in reality, it's a big deal. Had the federal government allowed the benefits to expire on December 31st as planned, you might have had to make a payment on your federal student loans as soon as January 1st. I don't even want to think about how many people would have missed their payments because of financial hardship or just because they were preoccupied with the holiday season and the beginning of the new year. Now, on Wednesday, January 20th, President-elect Joe Biden will be inaugurated as the 46th President of the United States. And with that new administration, I expect that prior to January 31st, there will be another big extension of these student loan debt relief benefits. My bet is until the end of June, but we'll have to wait and see. Make sure you hit that red subscribe button so you can stay up to date if and when that extension happens. The second topic I wanted to touch on today was the federal student loan servicer change. A federal student loan servicer is a company that manages the collection of federal student loan payments. If you have a federal student loan, you might make payments to companies like Navient, Nelnet, Great Lakes, or others. These companies have been hired by the federal government to take care of the collection and processing of your payments. Once they collect the payments from you, they then transfer them to the federal government. This way, the government doesn't have to worry about things like customer service inquiries and chasing you down when you miss a payment. Back in June, the Department of Education announced that some of the student loan servicers would be changing. And unless your federal student loans were serviced by the Missouri Higher Education Loan Authority, aka MOHELA, or Ed Financial Services, they would be transferred to a new servicer in December of 2020. When servicers change, it's a big deal because a new servicer is unlikely to have your authorization to withdraw funds from your bank account every month, at least until you grant them that authorization. That means millions of student loan auto pay setups would get canceled. And that's even a bigger deal in the middle of a global pandemic when all federal student loan payments have been paused for 8 or 9 months. There were, without a doubt, going to be millions of people missing payments if servicers changed and federal student loan payments resumed around the same time. Credit scores would get hit hard by a late payment, and millions of Americans would end up paying more interest fees when they took out loans to buy a home or a new car. So someone in the Department of Education in August, right around the time President Trump issued the executive order I talked about earlier, was wise enough to extend all of the current federal student loan servicer contracts for another year. So there would be less confusion and more time to implement such a seismic change. Hopefully the pandemic will be largely behind us by the time this change eventually happens at the end of 2021. So at this point, everything seemed to be holding steady with federal student loan servicing. That is, until mid-October, when the Utah Higher Education Assistance Authority, which served federal student loans for over 1 million Americans under the name CornerStone Education Loan Services, decided to terminate their contract with the Department of Education and stop servicing federal student loans. All of the accounts that CornerStone took care of are in the process of being transferred to a new servicer right now. And if you've been paying CornerStone for your federal student loan, you need to pay close attention to what happens to your account. CornerStone will probably contact you, if they haven't already, to let you know that you've got a new federal student loan servicer, and that you need to get your banking information set up with that new servicer. Whenever the federal government decides to unpause federal student loans again, you're going to be paying someone else, and you do not want a missed student loan payment on your credit report for the next 7 years. Are your student loans affected by the CornerStone situation? How much longer do you think the federal government will keep student loans on pause? Let me know in the comments. If you're wondering whether or not Joe Biden might forgive student loans with an executive order, click right here to watch my video on that very topic, which includes expert insights from a professor of political science at the University of Miami. And if you're not already a PPF subscriber, what are you waiting for? Click right here to hop on board. As always, thanks for watching. I'm Andrew Scheer, and I'll see you next time.